Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I'm BodineVictoria and this is my pot. You can look at the table and you should be able to tell by now exactly what's about to go down. Now, let me just say, at the time that I'm taping this, I am very nervous. We are preparing for Hurricane Isaias. Isaias, however it is that you pronounce his name. And if you know anything about what happened to the Bahamas during Hurricane Dorian, we are in need of comfort. We are in need of comfort. So today's episode focuses on comfort food. I've gone through my fridge and I have picked up, and my freezer by the way, and I've picked up and I've prepared all of the things that I want, the things that quite possibly, could have spoiled over the next couple of days, the things that have been in the fridge and the freezer for the longest and need to be used before they are wasted. And if you are a Bahamian in particular, or if you're familiar with storms, you know exactly why this is important. Having a hearty pot of soup is a full meal. You have all the carbohydrates, you have your protein, you have your fiber in it, and additionally, it helps to bond and bring the family together. Today's episode of Bodine Pot is brought to you by Showman eBistro. The majority of the ingredients that I have here are from my Showman eBistro boxes. I want you guys to know that the way that I filmed this one is going to be a little bit different, simply because my assistant cell phone is no longer with us. It died and I'm no longer able to use it. So instead of seeing me prepare it the full way, full straight on, I'm actually going to do a lot of it from the perspective of what the pot is going to be seeing. Let's get this pot started. The first thing that we want to do is we're going to put just a little bit of oil inside the pot, and that's because we're going to start with rendering our salt beef first, because it's going to take the longest amount of time to cook. This is what my pot sees when I'm cooking. And so we have the oil in the pot. What we're going to do right now is we're going to add about 1/4 of a pound. I don't even think this is 1/4 of a pound. You're gonna add maybe about 1/8 of a pound worth of salt beef. And we're gonna take a minute and we're going to allow that to render. As the fat renders, you're gonna see that the meat portions are gonna stay basically the way that they are, but the salt and the fat are going to increase in the bottom of the pot. And so one of the tips that I like to share with you guys is the fact that I cut my meat up small. It cuts down on the cooking time, but it also helps you to have a bit more of the flavor throughout the entire pot, in my opinion. So you don't just have 1 or 2 people getting all of the salt pork or all of the salt beef. I'm now going to add our onions and sweet peppers. The juices from these are going to deglaze the pot. You also want to add your tomatoes and your celery here as well. We're going to cover that and we're going to let that simmer. Now, once we let the steam out just now, if we look at it, the tomatoes are becoming a bit mushy, and I'm using cherry tomatoes because that's what I had in the fridge that needed to be used before they started to waste. And soup is a good way to use the flavors of ripening and almost overripe vegetables, simply because the flavor tends to improve as they ripen. You just have to be careful that they're not fully spoiled. And if you look, I have the ham cut into cubes. There's a reason why I have it cut into cubes. The first reason is because I want it to cook evenly. Ham is already cooked, so you only really need to kind of just make sure to reconstitute it or to cook it thoroughly. Ham and the salt beef themselves have their own salt. And so what you don't want to do is over salt your pot. Right now I have some thyme. I am feeling lazy today, so normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna throw the whole stock in there so I can pull it out a little bit later, and I'll add some more to it a bit later. I'm also going to add some garlic powder because I don't have any garlic, and this is the Dunbar Global, this is the Dunbar Global garlic powder. So I'm gonna throw in a bay leaf so we can get this started. Steam for a few minutes. So here's now where we're going to add the things that we want to break down a whole lot faster. So I have the beans, which are Lima beans. And here's a little tip. If you buy the dry Lima beans and you cook them, let's say in the rice cooker, with whatever seasonings you want to cook them with, they are going to not only give you a higher yield, but it's going to be much cheaper and much more cost effective than buying a can of cooked beans for $2. Essentially, these also share better. And again, you can monitor the amount of salt or sodium that you're adding to your pot. So I'm also going to put into this pot the sweet potatoes because I want them to cook down. And I'm going to put in the pumpkin pieces, and I'm going to put in the carrots. And I want them to start to break down because we want a thick and hearty kind of soup. And to keep this rolling, we're actually going to add some water to the pot. It's been about 10 minutes, and if you ever wonder what I do in between the spaces, as you can see, I have a million different dishes that just get dirtied up in the process. So I wash the dishes. And now I want us to look at the fact that we know that we need to give this another few minutes. So go ahead, wash your clothes, do something important, because soup does take a while. And the other ingredients will not require as much time to cook because some of them are already partially cooked. So we're gonna leave this for another 10 minutes. And now our pot has come to a rolling boil, okay? And this one here, you can cook a little bit faster than you would. And if you notice, the skins of the beans are breaking down. The ham is looking pretty good. And the sweet potato, yep, oh, it's hot. The sweet potato is almost mushy-ish to the touch. So now it's time for us to add our other ingredients, like our plantains. These are green plantains. You don't necessarily want to use ripe plantains unless, of course, you're going for a sweeter taste. We're also going to throw in our corn. And we're going to throw our turkey pieces in. And I'm going to add some water to the same turkey bowl because I want to get all the juice out of it. Add another about 2 cups of water. Turn this around just a little bit. Just a little bit. This could be a soup. Pull this out again. We look at the pumpkin. The pumpkin itself is not completely translucent all the way through, but in another few minutes, it's going to be just about ready. All right, guys, I'm back. I know some of you may have missed my beautiful face, but now it's time to do what some people consider to be the best part of the soup process, okay, which would be preparing the dumplings. So what we're going to do is we're going to use about 2 cups of flour because we have a lot going on inside our pot now. And did you know that in the last 2 boxes for Showman e-Bistro, there was flour? Yep. All right, and then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of baking powder. I know somebody probably just having a whole tizzy fit that I'm putting baking powder inside my dumplings, but the truth of the matter is I like my dumplings to be fluffy. Additionally, did you know that when they absorb enough water, they're actually going to fall to the bottom of the pot in any event? And I personally believe that the bottom of the pot is actually the best part of the pot, but that's me. So about a tablespoon of baking powder. We're going to add a pinch of salt because your dumplings, even though they're going to absorb the flavor of your current pot, you still need to not have them tasting blah. And now, somebody probably crying right now. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. I know you don't have to add sugar to yours. I know, but this is my pot, so I'll be adding sugar to my dumplings. And it's not enough. It's not a lot. It's just enough to kind of differentiate the flavor of the dumpling from the savoriness of the pork and the salt beef and the other elements of the pot. The plantains that we put in, they were green plantains, so they're not going to have a sweet taste. The sweet taste is actually going to come from the natural taste of the pumpkin, maybe a little bit of the corn, and now the dumplings. Stir this with my finger a little bit. All right, just a little bit more flour. So I want this a little bit stiffer than it is right now. I'm lazy when it comes down to dumpling, and you're gonna see just how lazy I am. So we have some conch. I've cut it into very small pieces because you want everybody to be able to get a little bit. We're going to add this to the pot. And our pot is no longer at a rolling boil. It's kind of at a simmer. And we want it that way because it's going to allow the conch to stay tender. And instead of it being super chewy because we added it too early in the process, it's going to be nice and tender. Because, I mean, there's no other way to refer to it. And the worst thing that you can have in a pot is like leathery conch. Nope. We don't need salt. We need pepper. And of course, y'all know my favorite, the Ignite goat pepper flakes from Firehouse Spice Company. Now I'm about to give some of y'all a conniption, because your girl ain't in the mood to roll no dough. So my doublets literally is be me putting them into a log and then cutting them up into pieces like this, and then bloop into the pot. And now that y'all see all these dumplings? Now that we've added the dumplings to the pot, guess what? Look at it. Add our cabbage. This is what our soup is looking like right now. When the cabbage leaves have gotten a bit greener and a bit brighter, that's when we know our soup is going to be done and it's going to be time to eat. Here we have it, guys, a delicious, comforting bowl of soup, especially when hurricane traveling. And so you have such a great balance of flavors and textures. You have the conch, you have the ham, you have the salt beef, all mixed up, plus the lima beans, which give you quite a bit of protein. Then you got the sweetness from the half-ripe, slightly green plantain, the pumpkin, the sweet potatoes, and the dumplings. Then you have the cabbage that gives you a little bit more roughage, a little bit more fiber. You have the carrots and all of the good things that just make you feel safe, okay? This pot will feed at least 10 people. I can tell you with a bowl this size, which is in an actual serving size, it will feed at least 10 people. So everybody can have something that is delicious. Additionally, I want to say thank you so much to Showman Bistro because the majority of the ingredients inside this pot came from my Showman Bistro boxes. I had little bits from here, little bits from there, and we ain't gonna let nothing spoil because people really are in need of food, and just letting things spoil is a disservice. And they've partnered with Hands for Hunger to be able to provide meals. So let's say if you don't want the box for yourself but you want to donate, what you can do is you can go to their website, you can purchase a box, and you can send it to somebody that is in need through Hands for Hunger at the Showman Bistro website. And so having said that, y'all, I'm about to enjoy my soup. I'm also going to have seconds, and I'm also going to take an entire bowl to my family and my parents. I want you all to stay safe, and don't forget, even during times of trouble, you don't let any and everybody dig up in your pot. Yes. Oh, it's so hot. Ooh.